This is the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast, episode 44.
Welcome to the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast with Countess. Ken is an internationally recognized marketing expert. This podcast will give you tips on how to market your business more effectively than ever before to help you make more money, whether you're just starting out or have been in business for years. And now, here's Countess.
Hey, welcome to this week's episode of the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. I'm Ken Countess, and this week I've got Kevin Geary with me. Kevin is based in Atlanta, and I'll let him tell you all about himself. We're going to talk today about the top 3 content marketing mistakes that 95% of people are making and how to fix them. So, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, I'm delighted that you're here. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I am a lifelong entrepreneur, but since 2013, I've been a full-time online entrepreneur. I am the founder of sixfiguregrind.com, and I help people build online lifestyle businesses so that they can escape the rat race and live life without limitations. And before we were recording, we were talking about my vision for all of that, and I think it's important for people listening to know that as well. I think that we are heading into the era of the online lifestyle entrepreneur, people building lifestyle businesses for themselves to be location independent, schedule independent, and financially independent. So I'm here to help people, guide people through that process.
That's great. And just following up on the fact that we had a chat before we started recording, part of our connection here and part of why I love going down this path is our listeners know that I spent a good part of my adult life in corporate America, going into the office every day and having those 4 walls around me and half the time wondering, what am I doing here? And because I just found it so confining. And once I left that environment, it was an interesting switch on many levels. But one of them was, I'm in business for myself now. It's been since 2001, so it's been quite a while. But for the longest time, I'd feel guilty, going off to Costco in the middle of the afternoon or taking time off if I were still in the 9-to-5 grind, that would be something frowned upon. So I love that we're having this chance to chat and giving people some maybe an opportunity to think a little bit differently about how they approach their work.
Yeah. And, I look at, they do surveys all the time asking people, hey, do you feel fulfilled in your job? Do you feel like you have enough autonomy? And it's 75-80% of people, no, I don't feel fulfilled in my job. No, I don't think I have enough autonomy. I don't really believe in the mission of the company that I work for. It's really not my passion. It's just a paycheck. It's to pay for healthcare. It's to pay for all this stuff. Right. And so I want to rescue those people in a way. Like there's such an opportunity to build something online that's real, that's sustainable, that you can do for the rest of your life and escape all of that and have the ultimate freedom in just being able to travel, not having to ask anybody for permission to do anything. And you know what? I know exactly how those people feel in those positions. To the people out there who feel trapped, who feel like their day job is sucking the soul out of them, I was in that position back in 2012. Now, I put myself in that position. I was the co-owner of a brick and mortar business. It was a martial arts studio. Mm-hmm. I chose a partner. I was younger. And when I got into all of this, very young, didn't have a lot of experience. I chose the wrong person to partner with, somebody who really cared all about money and not really about the quality of the product or the studio, right? And at the same time, the martial arts industry was headed in a direction where at least that part of it, was really selling out. All they cared about was selling people belts and, making sure that their retention rates were really high, not making classes too difficult like that. And I was like, this isn't really the spirit of martial arts. This isn't what I signed up for. And so every single day I felt like, gosh, I don't want to go there again. I don't want to do this again. Then my first daughter was born in 2012, and I came to a position where not only did I not want to go do this, I felt like it was sucking the soul out of me. I didn't want to leave my daughter and my wife to go do that. Like, it introduced another layer to all of this. And that's really what pushed me to say, all right, I have to get out of this situation. And I looked at the internet as that opportunity. I mean, I wasn't a stranger to the internet by any means. I'd been building websites since I was 12, 14 years old. And so I knew what I was doing online, but I never seized that opportunity. And I finally did. January of 2013, I built my first online business. By August of 2013, I said, see ya to the traditional thing. And I went completely online, and I've been completely online ever since.
That's fabulous. What a success story. So let's talk a little bit about that other online business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was rebootedbody.com, founded in 2013, still exists to this day, still run it to this day. And that is the business that really gave me that freedom. And over the 5 years of really building that business to where it is now, running that business and speaking to all of these other people, of course, that business is all about helping people achieve freedom through physical health and mental health, right? Freedom from the dieting model, because that business is very anti-dieting. And it shows people how to get a body and life they love without all of the craziness of the dieting model, right? But what I found is that that's fantastic and everything, but that's not the ultimate freedom that I see I can help people achieve with my skills and my passion. So I developed sixfiguregrind.com in 2017 and decided that what I really want to do is I really want to help people free themselves from this thing called the rat race that everybody knows exists, but they can't seem to actually get out of it. So that if I can help people do that, then I'm going to feel as fulfilled as possible.
Sure. Because nobody wants to be that hamster on the treadwheel.
Right? Yeah. And when I like doing the coaching with people at Rebooted Body, a big part of, I work with a lot of people who have emotional eating issues, overeating issues, that sort of thing. A lot of their stress is driven by what? It's driven by financial stress. It's driven by the fact that they are in a soul-sucking job and they're using food to medicate that. There's a lot of things that go into it, obviously, but that's a big part of it. This not having a career that aligns with your passion, that aligns with, the value you want to put into the world, that you're capable of putting into the world, that's huge. It's a huge weight on people's shoulders.
Excellent. Well, we said at the outset that we would be talking about the top 3 content marketing mistakes that most people are making and how to fix them. So let's get into that. Let's talk about where you find business owners are most challenged when it comes to growing their business. What are these things that are getting in the way, particularly when it comes to content marketing?
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know what content marketing is producing content that is valuable in order to attract people's attention. And you could put this content on social media. You could have this content show up on Google. Maybe you're good at search engine optimization. And when people go online and search for things, you show up because you researched things that they search for and you know how to tailor your content so that Google ranks it. And that's actually the best way, I think, to use content marketing. It's kind of the angle that I'm going to take on it today. But that is content marketing. And so people will often refer to the word blogging as content marketing. People, I'm sure they've heard of that before, but how people talk about blogging is or think about blogging can be different. It can be 2 different things. Blogging used to be like, oh, you like write a diary on the internet or something. No, that's not what blogging is, at least for business. You could do that in terms of blogging, but not for business. For business, it's producing helpful, valuable content or entertaining content, whatever attracts people's attention in a meaningful way and gets them to know, like, and trust you. In the business world, we know how important know, like, and trust is. So, I mean, think about it. How could you be more helpful than somebody in your target market gets on Google, they have a problem, they search for something related to that problem, you pop up, you give them helpful content, maybe you answer questions that they have or what have you, and then they decide, oh, this is a really helpful person. I think I want to hear more from them, right? Now they become a lead, and then you can convert them into a sale, whatever, right? That's the entire strategy kind of laid out of content marketing.
Sure.
Problem is, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. So the problem is when people are told, hey, content marketing is a great channel, they're like, yes, I want to get in on that. So they start researching. How do I start with content marketing? And most people start with articles. Now, content can be videos. It can be a podcast. What we're doing right now is content marketing, right?
Exactly.
But the most popular form of content marketing is article writing. And the reason it is the most popular form is because if you look at a podcast, it's hard to get a podcast episode ranked on Google. Video is great if people are on YouTube and searching. But if you go to Google and look at the search results, most of the results you get are not going to be video results from YouTube. They're going to be article results from people's blogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people look at that opportunity and they say, all right, written content is a good way to go. It's a sound strategy. It's what most people are doing. I'm going to go that route. And so they start brainstorming. This is the first mistake, by the way. So we're going to talk about 3 core mistakes.
Good.
The first mistake is brainstorming. So they sit down and what they do is they ask themselves, what does my audience want to know? What does my audience need to know? And a lot of them, if they consider themselves an authority or an expert, they feel like, oh yeah, I know what my audience needs to know. So that's what I'm going to write about. And so they write a headline. They think that headline sounds nice, right? And then they write an article and it might be 600, 800 words long. And then they publish it. And then they do it again tomorrow because they've heard that if you blog really frequently, then Google will like you more or your content will magically get out there somehow more. And so they do it and they create a schedule where they have to write every single day or 3 times a week or 1 time a week. It doesn't really matter because they're doing the strategy wrong, right? They're making all the mistakes.
Right.
So the first mistake is they brainstorm what they should be writing about.
Okay. So what's number 2?
So number 2 is publishing really what's called thin content online. So remember I mentioned 600 to 800 words. That used to be a really good strategy. It is no longer a good strategy. Google is looking for long form content. So if you look at the average number 1 ranking article on Google, it's about 1,800 words long. Now, this doesn't mean just, fluff it up. It means Google wants you to create the best piece of content on that topic. There are millions and millions and millions of blogs, probably millions within any niche that you might identify, right?
Right. Sure.
And so all of them are producing 600 to 800 word articles on the same topic. So how does Google, remember, Google's job is to give the best results to the searcher. If they don't give the best results, the searcher doesn't use Google. They use some other search engine, okay? So Google's out there trying to find the best content. How does it find the best content? Well, if it has a gazillion articles that are all 600 to 800 words long, and then there's this one article, and it's 2,500 words long, and it's really good content. They know it's good content because when they serve it up, they watch what visitors do, how they interact with that. Visitor stays a really long time on that page. That tells Google, hey, that's good content, right? Visitor shares that content, right? They don't exit that page. They go to another page on the user's site. Google's tracking all of this stuff and determining, hey, this is a really valuable piece of content. Guess what? That one goes to number 1. Everything else gets listed underneath it, okay? So really in-depth, valuable content is what Google's looking for. So if you publish thin content, short content, it's not in-depth, it's not that helpful, really. Because if you have a topic and you're trying to answer a question legitimately and you just answer it with some pithy little thing, Google doesn't really see that as very helpful. Like they want that to be the number 1 resource. So if you're publishing thin content, you're not giving Google what it wants. You're not giving the users what it wants. And then number 3, if you want to go into 3 or if you had any questions.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay. And then we can come back and talk about the details and how to fix all of these mistakes after I lay them out on the table. So number 3, not promoting content effectively. So what happens is they brainstorm, then they write this little 600 to 800 word thing, and then they hit publish, and they're like, all right, let's share it out on our social media channels. Let's email it to our email list, and then it's on to the next one. That's it. And so that is it's better than nothing, sure, but that's not really how promotion works. If you look at the prolific content marketers and the most successful content marketers, that's not how they promote. They don't just put things on social media and email it out to their list, right? So let's those are the three mistakes, right? Now we can go back, start back at number one and talk about, all right, well, if I'm not going to brainstorm, what do I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of brainstorming, you want to research what your target market is actually searching for, the exact phrases that they are typing into Google. Now, not everybody's going to use the exact phrase, but if you have a market of 10 million people, there's going to be a couple phrases that stand out, right? That people type in over and over and over and over again. And what you want to do is you want to target these phrases specifically, right? Really good content around these phrases. Now, you also, it's very helpful if you look at the competitiveness of those phrases, like how many other people have figured this out, that this is the phrase that people type in. If a whole lot of your competitors or a whole lot of, websites have figured that out, it's going to be a tough one to rank for, right? And you might be wasting your time. Maybe there's a better one that takes a slightly different angle that's much less competitive, not necessarily less volume, just less competitive. We can go after that one instead. So this is the process called keyword research. And it's kind of a mystifying thing to some people. It doesn't really have to be, though. I'm kind of laying out the layman's term strategy of, you have people in your market, they're searching for things. You got to find out what they're searching for. We use various tools to do that. But once you identify a phrase that somebody's searching for, now you can start writing content around it. Now, I go a step further in my keyword research, okay? So I find a target phrase, the main thing that people are searching for, but then I find all of the related keywords that they're searching for that also have to do with that specific topic. And I use those to create an outline. All right. So I'm not just finding one target phrase, I'm finding all of them.
Sure.
Everything that people want to know about that topic, that creates my outline. Then I write really high quality, engaging content. Okay. So that's step number two. Remember, publishing thin content, that's a problem. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do the opposite, right? So I'm targeting pretty much, I almost never write an article that's less than 1,500 words. And it's going to be full of quotes. It's going to be full of statistics. Usually it's going to be full of graphics, so that when somebody arrives on this article, it's not just a wall of text, right? It's a step-by-step thing that leads them through a very logical explanation or a how-to or what have you. And it's going to have supporting quotes. It's going to have supporting stats. So it's a resource, and it becomes a very, very valuable piece of content for people. Something that they find helpful, something that they're willing to share, something that other sites would want to link to. That's really important, right?
Right.
Then what I do after I publish that, I go into a promotional strategy. So this is fixing number 3, right? Yes, I share it out on social media. Yes, I email it to my email list. And then I go even further than that. So just like I did with researching what people are searching for, I also research the people who share that kind of content. And I start reaching out to them and say, hey, I noticed you like to share articles related to XYZ. Here's a brand new one that I published. I think you might find it helpful. Now, I don't ask them to share it, right? But I know they're interested in that kind of thing. I know how many followers they have. I know they're prone to share that type of stuff. I just put it in front of them. And a lot of times they say, hey, thanks for letting me know about this. Boom. And there it goes out to their audience, right? Distribution. And it's all free. And it's just by doing some basic research that you can fix what you're writing about, how you're writing about it, and how you're getting it out into the world.
And you're building relationships with all of these people the whole way through.
Absolutely.
You become that valuable resource.
Yeah, because every time I reach out to an influencer and let them know about a new piece of content, if they like it, now they know about my blog. Maybe they start going through my other articles. Maybe they decide, oh, this guy's kind of valuable. Maybe I should have him on my podcast, or maybe I should do a joint venture with him. Maybe he's got a product that I can promote and we can do an affiliate type deal. It opens up a lot of opportunities.
Yes, it does. So, Kevin, how often do you write articles that are in the 1,500 to 2,000 word range?
So that's a good question. I happen to enjoy writing, but I follow a once a week publishing schedule.
Great.
So I don't want to burn myself out, because you can absolutely burn yourself out, right? We can talk about, for the people who aren't writers, what should they do? But
you mean me?
yeah, that could be you, right? So I do enjoy the process of writing, but I stick to once a week. And that's really all you need. You could be successful with this strategy doing it once a month. Now, the more content that you publish, if you're following the correct strategy, the faster you will find success.
Right.
So the publishing schedule determines typically how fast you will find success. But you have to match that with your ability to produce that amount of content and maybe what you're taking time away from on the other side. But just to give people an example of this with rebootedbody.com, for example, I used this strategy, rebootedbody.com. We went from 0 traffic, a brand new domain in 2013. And I think it was by the end of 2013, heading into 2014, we were already breaking the 50,000 unique visitors a year mark. Mm-hmm. And then we were breaking 100,000 unique visitors a month a couple years later.
Fabulous.
So thinking about all of those people as potential leads, potential sales, all of that traffic is free. Now, the amount that you can collect in terms of traffic depends on your niche. Some niches are more popular than others. Obviously, the health niche is gigantic, right? But you have to look. The research will show you what your site is capable of getting. But the bottom line is that any traffic that you get from Google that's free, that's targeted, is free. And you can convert those people into leads, and you can convert those people into sales. And another good thing about it is that traffic doesn't go away. So like, let's say social media, algorithm changes, your traffic goes away. We've seen that happen numerous times, right? Or at least a good portion of your traffic goes away. Paid advertising. You put your wallet away for a few months, guess what? There goes your traffic.
There goes your traffic, right?
With Google, just keeps coming every single month. Year after year. I have many articles at rebootedbody.com that are driving traffic that I wrote back in 2013, 2014. To this day, they send hundreds of people every single month, just sitting in my archives and free traffic.
That's so great. So when it comes to, let's say I'm a business owner, whether I'm B2B, B2C, doesn't really matter. From your point of view, what should a business owner do more of when it comes to creating content to help them drive traffic to their website?
So it definitely depends on your niche, and it depends on what you're good at. Now, if you're doing video, do you like to do video?
Because
you said you didn't like to write. You like video and audio?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the video strategy can be so think of YouTube as a search engine. It is, right? It is. Right. Just like Google is. It's owned by Google. But people go to YouTube to figure stuff out. They have problems. They go looking for solutions there, right? So you can do the same type of keyword research. You can create videos based on the things that people are searching for. But what I would challenge you to do is to also create a robust description of that, right? So that you have, because most people on YouTube, they write a tiny little short description of their video because they think the video is the thing, right? But it's the description content that can get you found, right?
Right, because Google doesn't watch the video itself. It scans the text.
They look at the title, right? And then, the description, etc. The length of the video, how people use the video. If people click play and then they're gone in 3 seconds, Google's like, or YouTube, that's not really a good video. Like, people don't like it, right? So it's kind of the same thing. But that's what I would challenge you to do. Now, you can also publish articles. I really think that any business doing business online needs to have written content published on their site that is long form. And a lot of brick and mortar businesses don't understand this. They are still stuck in the age of SEO where, let's say you're a dentist. And so they'll try to find an SEO expert and be like, I want to rank for dentist in Portland, Oregon on my homepage. Okay. Well, that's really difficult these days. Everybody knows about that strategy.
Right. Sure.
For that. Okay. Now imagine that you have a website and you're that dentist in Portland, and your website has 5 pages. It has the home page, the about page, a contact page, a services page, typical brochure website, right? And then your competitor storms onto the scene and they have those 5 pages, but they also have a blog full of 75 articles, all written on topics that your target market are searching for. They have 80 opportunities to rank. They have those
Right.
75 articles. They have the
Mhm.
5 core pages. By the way, if any of those articles get linked to by other blogs and sites, that raises the authority of the entire website.
Right. Sure.
Now those blogs feed back to the authority of the homepage and the about page and the services page. Now those pages have a much higher chance of ranking for those keywords that you wanted to rank for. This is all driven by a content marketing strategy, not a
Mhm.
brochure website strategy. And that's
Mhm.
another big mistake that brick and mortars are making online.
And one thing I'd offer up, I mean, for someone like me, and again, those who follow this podcast know I hate to write. I will always curate other content.
Mhm.
But let's take that dentist in Portland, Oregon. He or she may not like to write, but what they can do is they can pick up one of these things, a phone,
Yep.
right?
Uh-huh.
Dictate something into it, have that dictation transcribed, and that can become the blog.
Exactly. No, and I was going to bring that up as an opportunity. And some people will also say, all right, well, it's hard to collect my thoughts in a coherent way. Just so they see us talking here on a mic in a conversation. That's
Mhm.
actually not that difficult. If
Right.
you turn on a microphone by yourself and try to put a really coherent, helpful message out into the world, it's not as easy as it looks.
That's right.
And
That's
we
so
look at
true.
radio, yeah, we look at radio hosts who do that for a living. They can literally sit there for 4 hours and talk into a microphone, and they're entertaining and they're coherent and everything stays on track. Well, good luck. Like, they're pros. Go try to do that. It's not that easy. But let's say you have an assistant and you guys have picked a topic. Here's what we need an article about. You outline all of the questions somebody would ask about that topic, right? And then
Right.
you sit down with your assistant just like we are, and you have a recorded conversation. You
Mhm.
take that audio file, because the assistant asking you questions is helping to keep you on track, to keep
Right.
everything neat and coherent. You
That's
take
right.
that audio file, you send it off to the transcription service, you have an article. All you have to do is edit it up or get an editor to edit it and make it into like an article format, publish it on your site. Boom, you're good. If you've done the keyword research and then you know how to distribute that content, your content marketing job is done. You do that for a few months, a few years, you are going to be the #1 dentist in Portland, Oregon. I guarantee you.
Excellent. Well, Kevin, this has really been great. I took down the three things, the three mistakes that people are making. The one was brainstorming, the other was thin content, and the third was not promoting their content effectively. Did I get those
Yep.
right?
Absolutely. And by the way, I'll just add one thing.
Yeah.
So, people might get this misconstrued and think, oh, I got to sit down and record a conversation and just for the sake of having an article. No, 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 no. You publish that audio content and you take the video of doing that and you put it on your YouTube channel, right? You can redistribute that content in many ways.
Which is exactly what we're doing.
Exactly. That's what you're about to do.
So great. Kevin Geary, who is the owner of Rebooted Body, but also the Six Figure Grind, which is a great podcast, and I'd encourage everybody to have a listen to it. Kevin, how can people best reach you? This is time for your shameless promo or plug.
Yeah, absolutely. So sixfiguregrind.com is where you will find everything if you're interested in building an online business or just online marketing in general. There's a bunch of content related to that there as well. If you decide at some point in your life, you know what, I want to build an online lifestyle business, then the best place for you is something I actually just launched. It's called the 250K Society. It's an exclusive membership community for online lifestyle entrepreneurs. A bunch of people in there just absolutely crushing it. We're using a mastermind model, a one-to-one coaching model, and an online education model. It's all combined into one. Fantastic place for people to be. Again, it's not for brick and mortar entrepreneurs or businesses, but if you're doing the online lifestyle business thing, then that would be the #1 place for you.
And let's give out that website again.
Yeah, so that would be 250ksociety.com, 250K, or just go to sixfiguregrind.com and you can find everything there.
Great. Kevin Geary, thanks for being on the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. I look forward to the next time we chat.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, that's it for this week's episode. Don't forget to check out our brand new email marketing online academy. It's www.marketyourbusiness.co/email-academy. That's where you'll find out more. Check out all of our episodes of the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast. It's on our website, marketyourbusiness.co. Look for the podcast tab, and there you'll find all previous episodes. And while you're on our website, don't forget to check out all the other resources and sign up for our weekly newsletter too.
Thanks for listening to the Market Your Business Like a Pro podcast with Ken Countess. Be sure to visit marketyourbusiness.co to access show notes, discover our fantastic content, and sign up for our mailing list. Have questions? Send Ken an email, ken@thecountessgroup.com, ken@thecountessgroup.com, or Twitter @CountessGroup. See you next time.
If you need help with this or anything else related to marketing your business, reach out to us.